Assalamu alaikum. We're back, and we just finished talking about the genetically modified crops that are used in processed foods. And almost every processed food product you're going to have field corn, soybeans, canola, or cottonseed. So, therefore, no matter what you eat, if it's processed, they're going to have it in there. And those are the ones that have been, mostly all of those crops have been genetically modified. And we know that they're putting spermicide into the DNA of the GMO corn. So they are doing it. They're reducing the sperm count all over the planet Earth. But they didn't just stop with the plants. Now they are making fake meat. They call it clean meat. Because, you know, E. coli in the beef, but we showed you that it's because they're producing the beef in an artificial manner, putting them up on concrete, stacking them close together, feeding them corn and soybeans instead of letting them walk and graze and eat grass the way they were made to. So then nature reduced the poison for the human from the animal. Now you're going to blame the animal? Well, the human is the problem that caused the animal to produce that problem. So you stop treating the animal like that, he won't make it no more. But instead, you want to get rid of the animal altogether and feed fake food. And who's at the head of this? Here we go, that same friend, the Israelis. Okay, this is an article by Forbes.com. This is Forbes. This is not what they call it, fake news, off-the-wall conspiracy theories. These are 7 predictions on the future of clean meat in 2019. Oh, that's where we at, 2019. That looks real, don't it? That's clean, fake, cultured meat. Okay, it says the FDA and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are doing exemplary work so far to position the United States at the forefront of this cellular agriculture revolution. Now, this is from this article, cellular agriculture revolution. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Israel further expand its leadership in clean meat. This is from an article. I'm not saying this. This is the guy who wrote the article saying this. Between the meat industry's investment in super meat and the steak just produced by Aleph Farms, Israel really is in some ways a mecca for the cultured meat world. This is in Forbes. This is not some anti-Semitic rant or propaganda. They're actually equating what Israel is doing with the meat is with Mecca. So they are in fact creating meat from stem cells without the animal going around God's creation, and they're gonna call it the Mecca, being that they're proud of being at the forefront of this deviation. Now, an Israeli startup with ties to America's most popular hummus brand, the hummus, you know, that's that good old that's vegan stuff, right? Says it made the world's first lab-grown steak, a holy grail for the industry. Lab-grown steak. If there were a holy grail in the world of real meat made without farm animals, it would be steak. The Silicon Valley-based startup New Age Meats let Business Insider taste its lab-grown sausage prototype in September 2018. The vegan egg and mayo company just formerly Hampton Creek claims to have made a prototype chicken nuggets. And Bill Gates-backed startup Memphis Meats said it produced the world's first chicken strips from animal cell last March. Okay, this is something this is not science fiction. This is something they're doing. Soon to be coming to your local store. Be careful what restaurants you eat at. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, patriarch of the Nation of Islam, wrote concerning history. Of all our studies, history is the most attractive and best qualified to reward our research. Malcolm didn't come up with this, okay? Malcolm got it from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As it develops the springs and motives of human actions and displays the consequences of circumstances which operates most powerfully on the destiny of human beings. The wise man is the one who has made a careful study of the past events of ancient and modern history. The knowledge of the future is judged by the knowledge of the past. Okay? In other words, you better check what's going on, find the motives of human actions, because those motives will tell you what they're up to. Then you're going to be able to use the past and make future judgments, because you're going to have to live in the future. If you make it, you need to know what they plan for you. So let's go back. We got out of slavery, 1865, started with 0. By 1910, in terms of the percentage of farms owned by blacks, Mississippi, we own 60% and over. By 1910, 45 years later, coming out of nothing, 60% of the farms are owned by black folks or more in Mississippi. 50 to 60% of the farms in South Carolina were owned by black folks. 40 to 50% of the farms in Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia were owned by black folks. 20 to 30% of the farms in Arkansas, Florida, North Carolina, and Virginia were owned by black folk. So in other words, coming out of slavery, they didn't give us 40 acres and a mule, but we bought 16 million acres on our own. We was taking over the South. Then we had inventions: air conditioning unit, almanac, automatic gear shifts, baby buggy, bicycle frame, blood plasma bag, cellular phone, chamber commode, clothes dryer, doorknob, egg beater, electric lamp bulb, elevator, fire extinguisher, fountain pen, gas mask, golf tee, guitar, hairbrush, horseshoe, ironing board, lawnmower, lawn sprinkler, lock, mailbox mop, peanut butter, pencil sharpener, phone transmitter, refrigerator, spark plug, stethoscope stove, street sweeper, thermostat control, traffic light, tricycle, typewriter. In other words, we come up out of slavery, we about to take over. We producing products. We come up with ideas. And here, our population was going up from 1900 to 1920. And we're going up from 13 million up to 16 million by 1910. But then all of a sudden, the farm acres started going down. Our population kept going up, but the farm acres started coming down after 1910 because these people started lynching us. Here are the lynchings. Okay? 1880, 1889, 1890, 1999, 1900, 1909. See, this really kicked up in this period right here, and that slowed down the acres that we were buying. It started slowing it down. Stop the inventions. Coal. Boom. Stop the inventions. Coal. As they lynched us. This is not about no raping no white woman. This is about them trying to stop the economic development of black people. Getting land, coming up with ideas. You ever heard the real McCoy? That's because that's what they call it. They want the real McCoy. That's a black man produce a way to oil the bearings in a moving engine. They wanted the real McCoy. He invented. That's what they wanted. He produced it. But then they started lynching, tearing us up, man. There's a war against us. And then we flatlined after that. Don't come up with nothing except working for white folks, giving them ideas. And then they go off and get rich, and they give us a little pension. Okay? But all of a sudden, though, the lynchings slowed down considerably in 1930. You know what happened in 1930. If you don't know what happened in 1930, you need to study what happened in 1930. Now, the migration. So from 1910 to 1960s, the KKK pushed us out. The jobs and integration of promises of living with white folks in peace pulled us to the cities outside of the South where we own the land. Okay? Why? The Committee for Economic Development, this is what I call a smoking gun. An adaptive approach, 1962, called an adaptive approach. It says, net migration out of agriculture has been going on for 40 years at a rapid rate. Nevertheless, the movement of people from agriculture has not been fast enough. This adaptive approach recommended that vocational agriculture courses in rural areas be scrapped. So stop teaching the people how to farm. Farm children be given college scholarships to study anything but agriculture. Take them off the farm, train them in something they can never come back to the farm to utilize. Agricultural prices be substantially lowered. I thought this was a supply and demand, free market. No, they go lower prices, and temporary income programs be instituted to protect the most suited for survival. Okay? So, suited for survival. But then let's go back to this LA Times social eugenics that we had in the other lecture part. It has long been known that cities never perpetuate themselves biologically. They are destroyers, not producers of human beings. They survive only because people brought up on the farms continue to migrate to them. So now we go back and we see them pushing us to come and work in the factories because they ain't making no children even back then. It's us making the babies for the workers, make them in the workers so they can use them. That's why they brought us up there. They ain't making no babies, not then and not now. They know this is destructive, living in them cities. Then they gave the money to the white boy, subsidies to the white farmers and not the black farmers. Over a 10-year period, they gave $1,000 per acre for every white farmer in America, and only $274 per acre for the black farmers in America, per acre. So that means at that time, back in the 1980s, farmland was going for about an average in the South of $1,000 per acre. So what they did was in 10 years gave the white farmers enough money to buy all the black farmers out. And that's what happened. Now, who is suited for survival? After Minister Farrakhan launched the Muhammad Economic Blueprint in October 2013, Glenn Beck's website on December 9, 2013 claimed that Minister Farrakhan was milking the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The three Economic Savings Incorporated, Muhammad Farms, received $108,395 from 1995 to 2012, 17 years averaging about $6,376. But Glenn Beck say that we milking the government. However, the top recipient in Terrell County, Wilbur Gamble, who used to be the head of the county commissioners, now his son is the head of, they're the ones I'm fighting with now, the Gamble family who run this county. He received, in that same period for 17 years, he received $4,283,199. $4 million. We get $108,000. He get $4 million, but we on Front Street. In fact, there were 20 farms in Terrell County that received over $1 million. 20 of them, not us. And 57 farms that received over $500,000. All of them white, none of them us. We got $108,000. We had 57 farms that got over a $500,000. 20 farms that got $1 million, and this dude got $4 million. But you talking about us? What's going on that you might want to know? And we fighting back. No, we had to. The minister said, "Give back the damn money." We gave back $41,000 to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That hurt like hell. I ain't got much to work with down here now, but we had to give that back to them. What belonged to us. Everybody else was getting it. How come we can't get it? Damn it. Okay, so here we go. Terrell County, Georgia, U.S. Department, USDA farm subsidy recipients totals for 1995 to 2012. Here we are down here. We're 146 in the whole damn one county. We're 146. Okay? Here this dude up here that gets that $4 million. Way up here. We way over here. All them other people between us. We're 146. But yet they talk about us but not about the rest of these people. Yeah, you damn straight I'm an angry black man. But we produce the best watermelons in the country with Muhammad Farms and my sling team. We pick them from the field, sling them on to the truck. We keep moving. Why? Because Allah is God. We can't person match for Rod. And Elijah Muhammad is a God. Now Farrakhan is one too. And I'm trying to be one. I'm about to work like hell to be it. Anybody don't get that away. Praise be to Allah. And we're growing and harvesting wheat. Now we did something like 400 acres at one time. Well, let me show you what the crackers did. We get the farm at the end of 94, 95 I started farming. Okay, look at right here. The price of wheat right here was, in 96 was $4. Alright, right here was $3.50 and $4. Then they come in 1996, the Freedom to Farm with the Fail Bill. The 1996 Farm Bill, farmers call it the Freedom to Fail Bill. And then you see all these prices, the soybean price, the wheat price, the corn price, even the cotton price, they dropped by the year 2000, 2001, they dropped in half. Or 2001, they dropped in half. And here was corn was over $4 now. It's $2 in that 4-year, 5-year period. So they kill the commodity prices. All right? And then we got subsidy payments like the white farmers did, and now they coming out saying that we done took something. They destroyed, like they're planning to do. They destroyed the prices. Then we're not even supposed to get the subsidies that the other guys get. So we at Muhammad Farms and Nation of Islam, we fighting on all different fronts. And most people don't even know. Now you know. We got the farm at the end of 94. We started farming in 95. The damn government went to war with Muhammad Farms. That's right, I said it. The government, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, went to war against one farm. One. Why? Because if we make it, then we can show the other black farmers how to make it. Then we be the leaders for the black farmers, and we take over all the black farmers, be with us, and next thing you know, we the black farmers would take over the South again. So they had to stop the Nation of Islam, Muhammad Farms, to stop the movement that they saw coming because of what, the Million Man March. There's a war going on that you might want to know. Okay. Now, a longer term look at what's going on in agriculture. Here's wheat prices per pound. It takes about a pound of wheat to make a loaf of bread after you grind it into flour. Here, back here, way back here in 1915, here the wheat price was 2 cents per pound when the bread was 7 cents. A loaf of bread made from a pound loaf of bread was 7 cents. Now, wheat is at 9 cents, and the white bread is $1.98. You know the whole wheat bread is a lot more. It's twice that, $4. But just that white fluffy puffy nothing bread is $1.98. But yet the farmer don't give it 9 cents. What the hell is that? The farmer get 9 cents. You pay $1.98. What the hell is that? That's called robbery and enslavement. So from 1915 to 2014, the farmer gets wheat with 2 cents. 1915, now he get 9 cents. Hell, that's flatline, baby. But the cost of everything else is going up, and what people pay for bread is going out way up. So we show you here in 1920, a farmer could sell 56 pounds of wheat, which is a bushel. He can sell it at $2.63. Take that money and go out and buy 22.8 loaves of bread. Okay? Because here's the bread price was like 11 cents. But now in 2014, the bread price is $1.98. You get in 2014, you get $4.95 for 56 pounds. But now you get that money, you can only buy 2.5 loaves of white bread. You could buy 22.8 loaves of white bread in 1920. Now you can only buy 2.5 loaves. That means that you can't feed your family for what you grow. There's a war going on that you might want to know. Okay. Next slide. So look, let's look at what's been going on. Here is the green is chemicals per acre on a per acre basis from 69 up to 97. The red is petroleum cost. The purple is fertilizer. And labor is the light purple. Labor costs going up. Here's what you get for corn. Flatline, dead. Look at the gap. Wiping the farmer out. Okay? So, we want to get young people into agriculture, but let's be realistic. Something's got to change. And we plan to change it, but this is the reality. We're looking at profitability, a rates of return on equity from current income. Rates of return on equity. You invest $100, how much do you get out? Well, in 2001, you get a 1.8 cent. 1.8%, which is 1.8 cent per $100. And then, and look at this. This, and the average was $1, 1.67%, or $1.67 per $100 that you invest for farming. But in manufacturing, it was the average was 11.99%, almost 12%, 13% for mining, almost 12% for wholesale, retail, 14%. So if you go invest money, would you put your $100 to get $1.67 back, or you rather get 12? You rather get 12 cents back. I mean $12 back. You put $100, you get $1.67 for farming. You put out $100, you get $12 for manufacturing. You put out $100, you get $13 for mining. You put out $100, you get $11.71 for wholesale. And for retail, you put out business $100, you get $14 back. So who will put any money in farming? This is all to destroy agriculture. Okay? Now, look, median farm income. This is U.S. Department of Agriculture stuff. It's negative. Median off-farm income is in the median total income. So the people are making their money off the farm. They're losing their money on average on the farm. Then they're getting government subsidies for those suited for survival. The big white farmers get government subsidies, your money. They stay in business, but a small man can't stay in business. The black man can't. He don't even get the subsidies. So they lose money. If you don't have a job, you can't keep the farm. They cut back the jobs in the rural areas. They take the manufacturing plants out the country. So now the people lose their land, commit suicide. Okay? So now, back in the day, the turn of the century, the farm had its own equipment, sun, air, and rain, produce the food, sold it straight to the consumer. Now, the farm, he has to buy equipment, fertilizer, seed, petroleum, and chemicals. He has to buy it, borrowing the money. Then he sells it to the wholesaler, the processor, and then they sell it to the consumer. So he don't get but $1, but he usually get $14. You understand what I'm saying? The profitability has been taken from the farmer and given to everybody else on either side of him. The input and where he sell it to. And I showed you before how everything now has been from various small farmers to one big mega corporation buying up everything and running everything. Okay? Now, from the secret relationship between blacks and Jews, we found out a number of things. Number one, the Jews entered America through Charleston, not New York City, and they brought slaves with them. Jews controlled the clothing industry in Europe. They came to America for fertile land and brought slaves to grow cotton. Jews heavily involved in the triangle slave trade. Just a minute.